All right, guys, I am doing a video today on cheating. Cheating and narcissism kind of go hand in hand. It's a very popular topic when talking about narcissism. Um, Most people, I'm saying it all because not all narcissists cheat. This is a big misconception. Um, a lot of these gurus, people who talk about narcissists, they speak about cheating and that they all do this. Um, they all don't cheat. Not all narcissists cheat on their partners, okay? I know many, I know a few. I know a few narcissists who do not cheat on their partners. They're married and they're still narcissists, but they don't cheat. Cheating is not a part of their narcissism, it's not a part of their problem with their narcissism, so they don't cheat. So, you know, not all of them will cheat, but most of them will. A good amount of them do. It depends on that narcissist's um, specific, personality. You can never say that all. You can never generalize anything in life and say that everyone, all. It, it's not like that with people. People are individuals, and every single one is unique. No two people are the same. No two people do things the same. People are a unique, individual human. And, humans are not all the same. They're just not. And when they generalize and say all narcissists cheat, it's not true. They all don't cheat. Um, but in the video, I'm going to be talking about cheating and setting boundaries and trying to understand the warning signs that if you are being cheated on, this can go for, you know, people who aren't with narcissists as well. But when you're with a narcissist, the signs are going to be a little bit different than if you're with a regular cheater, with a person who's not a narcissist. The signs are going to be a little bit different because normal people who cheat are going to feel empathy. They're going to feel guilty for cheating, whereas narcissists do not. Narcissists don't feel guilt when they're cheating. They feel like they're justified to do it. They feel like I'm not doing anything wrong. A lot of times narcissists, have this mentality because narcissists kind of get into they don't really get into, they're not really in relationships, they're in situationships with people. And they make it with this other person as if, well, we're not really in a relationship, so I'm not really doing anything wrong. We're just two people who, hang out and we are physical, but we're not committed. They always justify it um, with these excuses. So it makes them not have to be committed and accountable for their actions. They're always looking for a way out or for one step out, one foot out of the relation. That's what they always do. All right. So there are going to be differences. When a normal person, if you're with a regular guy, a normal guy who's not a narcissist, and you've been dating them for, it doesn't matter how long, and they cheat, they may even tell you they cheated. They might be like, you know what, I cheated on you. They might tell you. They might even drop hints, or they might feel very guilty about it. So they might even confess that they're doing it or break up with you and say, the truth, okay? Narcissists won't do that. Narcissists justify their actions as if they're not doing anything wrong. They really don't feel like they're doing anything wrong. It's really true. It's true because they set themselves up like this. They have these like weird things when you're in a relationship with these people where it's like, well, I'm not really, we're together, but we're not really together. You know what I mean? This is what they do. This is what they do. So you're like, well, what is this? Right? This is what they do. Um, When I was with my narcissist, I hate having to bring it up. I don't like really talking about him, but I sometimes I need to because he's a narcissist. So this is what I'm talking about, the topic. Um, when I was with him, we were in we started off as a relationship, and then it got more serious, and it grew into a long-term live-in serious and relationship where we even got engaged at one point. And then it kind of sat there for a little bit, and it like I said, it kind of, when you're with a narcissist, relationships with narcissists only can go to a certain point. Like with mine, it went the distance and it couldn't go any further. It kind of like stopped because, like I said, relationships with these people only go to a certain point, and then it kind of ends because after that one point you're with them and they start to feel like, okay, now I have to actually go through with getting married, and I'm going to have all this responsibility to be loyal and committed. They don't want that paper. They don't want that. They don't want to be tied into being with you. Any kind of like legal type thing, they get very scared of stuff like that. That's too much for them. So a relationship with, and now like I'm saying, this is not with every narcissist. This has a lot. This is a majority of them. Like I said, there are narcissists who will go through with getting married. There are, some narcissists will get married and have kids and look like normal people. Okay, they will look on the outside like very normal people, but they're actually narcissists. Okay, with mine. Okay, and with a lot of others, which I have talked to many people on here through comments, with gurus who I've watched on here from time to time, they're in the same boat. Like the relationship goes to a certain point. They may even go through with getting engaged. They only get engaged to you to keep you there so you don't leave them. It's like a future faking uh, tactic that, well, they'll go ahead and they'll buy you a ring, but they're not going to go through with making plans of actually getting married. They'll keep it. I know people who've been engaged for over 10 years. They literally have been engaged since like 2010, and and they have never gotten married. They're just forever engaged. So you have to kind of watch this whole thing, okay? You're going to have to like be aware. But with a lot of narcissists, the relationship hits a certain point and it kind of stays at that point, and it will not keep growing. It won't flourish. It'll kind of stay put, and it won't go on. It won't get bigger. It won't grow. So that's another thing. So excuse me. I just ate breakfast and um yeah, so that's what it's like. So with cheating, so okay, let me get back to the point where I'm trying to make is that yes, with a narcissist, um, there's going to be signs, there's going to be warning signs that the narcissist is cheating. Like I said, everybody's different though. There's no two situations that are the same. So you really can't, I can't talk about that. Okay. Um, but I will say this. Um, you're going to be suspicious. Like they're going to start doing something that changes. You're going to notice a change in your partner when your partner starts cheating on you. Not only just cheating, if they are either going behind your back with somebody else or even if they're just interested in somebody else, you're going to notice a change in your interaction with your partner. Maybe they're not spending that much time with you anymore. Maybe when you were always together on the weekend, now they're doing something else on the weekend. Okay. They're not that excited to be with you or see you. Okay. Holidays. You don't spend holidays anymore. You used to always do things on holidays, and now they're not doing anything on holidays. They're just going off by themselves or they're doing something else. They're not um they're not spending. Well, my ex narcissist was a very cheap, selfish person. Um, he really was. He wasn't a very giving person. He never spoiled me with anything. Which I am a woman who does like to be treated good, and I do have standards now. But when I was with him, I was very naive still. I didn't really know my worth. I didn't really, you know what I mean? I didn't really have whatever, the experience, I guess you'd want to call it. So, he wasn't he spoiled me with good food. And something I will tell you, the one thing that he was good at was he was a damn good cook. And I can never take that away from him because he cooked unbelievably well. Um, Everything that he made was delicious. Like that's one thing I can never, never, ever, ever say bad about my ex narcissist was that he cooked awesome, and he cooked things the way I liked it. Like if I liked something a certain way, he would ask me how I liked it, and he kind of knew how I liked things, and he kept making it the same way for me because he knew that I liked things a certain way. Um, that was the one thing that we really had in common was we liked a lot of the same foods, and he cooked things the way I liked them, which is very hard to find too. Like cooking is an art. Cooking is a very um, specific, very detailed thing to be a good cook. With good cooking, you have to be very detail oriented, and you have to be able to multitask. And he was very good. He was an awesome cook right from the very beginning. He started making me food, and I was like, "Wow, you can cook pretty good." And he liked it. He had an interest in it. It was something that he enjoyed. I think that's why he was good at it. And I think he kind of grew up with that too. I think he grew up cooking. I think when you have parents who are good cooks, you kind of learn from them. And I think that was a lot of what was his issue, was his situation. But yes, he spoiled me with good food. I will tell you, yes, he made awesome food, awesome everything he made was delicious. There wasn't anything that he made that wasn't good. But the food was it. Like he never like went out of his way to do nice gestures for me, except for cooking. Um, a lot of my friends, and I would always put this on, like I would always tell everyone, but he cooks me such great dinners and he makes wonderful food for me. And everyone, well, he's eating it too. Everyone was like, well, yeah, he does that, but that's not just for you. He's also eating. Like if he was doing it specifically only for you, it's different. But this is how naive I was. I used to always say, well, he cooks. Cooking is a big deal. There's a lot of work that goes into cooking, but everyone used to tell me, but he's also eating it. He's not going to starve, right? So he's not really doing that for you. Everyone was telling me, what does he do for only you? And I was like, well, if it wasn't cooking, then that was it. If it wasn't the cooking, that's all that he really did for me. Any kind of extra stuff that I wanted or needed, he was not there for me with anything like that. I had to basically ask or beg at times. I'd have to beg. If I needed this, I had to like beg and be like, can you please do this for me or get this for me? I'd have to beg for it. I was never just surprised with anything. He wasn't like that. He just wasn't that kind of guy. Anything that I wanted to do, I either had to beg or just do it myself or just not do it, literally. So that's what it was like, he just wasn't a good boyfriend. And with good boyfriends comes, you know, um, furthering your relationship to getting married. Like when I think about it now, I say like, would I would have had a good marriage with him? I don't think so. Especially with having children, kids take a lot of stuff. You got to buy them toys, you got to buy them everything. You know how kids are, and you can't be cheap and selfish and have children. You can't, that's not going to go together for me. And that was something that was really worrisome for me too, because I said, Jesus, like everything that I get from him, I have to basically beg for, or, do something. Like it was never just like, here, honey, here, this is for you, or here, honey. It was never, I never got that from him. Um, Ever. he just wasn't for me because I like nice gestures. I like boyfriends who are giving. I like guys who are generous. I like to be pampered. I guess so. I guess so. I think every woman likes to be pampered to some degree, right? Um, he just wasn't that kind of guy. So overall, when I think of it, as I have the wisdom now to think about this stuff in a more realistic way, I don't think that a marriage would have really worked between us, um, or having the baby, because I feel like if we went that route, we probably would have been clashing a lot. You know what I mean? And I don't. He's just not that kind of guy. He was more of a saver, but for what? Like, yes, you have to save a little bit. I believe, yes, you should save your money. Of course, you should definitely be able to do that. But you can't do the whole. I mean, you have to be able to live too. There's a line there. Okay, there's a line between being a hoarder, being a tightwad, and then also living your life. You live once. You only live once in this. You only go around one time. Okay, one time. I have a very different thing about that whole thing. I believe you should live your life and, be happy. Um, so yeah, I don't think it would have worked. I think we would have definitely had issues with raising kids together and being happily married because finances is, I think, they say that financial problems are, I think, one of the biggest reasons for people to separate and divorce is financial reasons. It is. It really is. If you don't see eye to eye on your lifestyle or on things that you want or need or how you spend your money, then you're not really going to, it's not going to work. You're not going to be satisfied. You're not going to be fulfilled. You're not going to be getting the things that you need or want. And you're going to be kind of bitter towards each other, because one's not going to want and you're going to want. It's just not going to work. It ain't going to work. So it is what it is. But anyway, getting back to the cheating, there are warning signs. And like I said before, with these warning signs, you have to really understand, focus on what's happening at that time because, um, for me, I knew that something was definitely off, but I didn't do anything about it. And that was my fault. That was my fault. You know, it's two people in a relationship, not just one. And I didn't have to stay with him. I could have broken up with him at any day, any moment, but I chose to stay despite the suspicious behavior, despite not really knowing what he was doing, despite things that he used to do that definitely made me curious as to what the hell are you doing all this time? And why do you have to go here every week? And it was like, why are you doing this? I never really had straight up answers. Um, yeah, it was very weird and suspicious. And like I said, once you get to that point where you don't trust your partner, because like I said, when I was with mine, I trusted him for about 5 years. For about 5 years, cheating wasn't an issue with him at all. We had a pretty okay relationship for that time in my life. It was okay. And then after about, I would say 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. About, I would say definitely by 5 years, things started to definitely change when he started associating with certain people. And you might see your boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever start associating maybe with a new coworker, a new friend, or just somebody new in their life. Okay, it might just be someone that they've met someplace, maybe somewhere that they go, or it doesn't have to be a new friend. It could just be that they're doing it behind your back from a dating site. Okay, dating sites are major playgrounds for cheating because it's you can do it very secretly. Okay, go on your phone or your computer and you can join a dating site. They do that as well. The main thing here is just realizing that things are different. Things have changed. And when things start changing, you have to basically figure it out by talking to the partner, communicating with the partner to find out what has changed, why you're feeling the way you are. And if you can't come up with a solution that makes sense to you, that you feel is real and you trust what they're telling you, then you have to leave. Don't give second chances. Don't keep saying, okay, well, maybe he's telling the truth. If you feel like they're not telling the truth, they're not telling the truth. You have to go with your intuition. Princess Diana said this is her quote, when she was, married to, when she was, met with Charles. She said, in one of her interviews, she said, a woman's intuition is a very good one. And I believe that too. She was a very intelligent woman, and I believe exactly what she said. It is. Woman's intuition is a very good one, and believe your intuition. If you think that something is wrong, believe it. Don't second guess yourself or think that you're being insecure or that you're being too sensitive. No. Because all of a sudden, if everything is fine for years and all of a sudden something is different, that's because something has changed. Not with you, with something on the outside. And remember this too. Narcissists don't cheat because of your insufficiency. They cheat because of their own insufficiency, because they need whatever it is that they feel that they're lacking. Narcissists get bored after being with someone for a number of years. Depending on the narcissist, a lot of them get bored very, very quickly. They like attention from lots of different people. After they've been with you for a while and you're not really a challenge anymore to them, they start getting bored with you. They start looking around like, you know what, they start flirting with other people. They start to get interested in other people. It doesn't matter who they are. Like, I want to say this too. It doesn't matter who this person is. It's that narcissists do not have standards. And, even for me, if someone told me that my narcissist was cheating with people like he was cheating with, I would be like, no fucking way. He would never do that. He's not like that. But they are. And remember this too, there's nobody is off limits to a narcissist. When I mean nobody, I mean nobody. Nobody. When I mean nobody, I mean nobody. Narcissists do not have standards when it comes to the people that they go out with or date. They will date anybody. They don't care. Look at their history. Like with mine, I said, well, look, he's normal. He dates people like me. He just dates, normal, people like me. There's a time when that could change, all right? And it will. Narcissists don't have standards, and it depends on what they need at that moment, too, all right? It depends on who's around. It depends on the availability of the person that they're cheating with as well. Like, sometimes a narcissist will cheat with someone who's in the same boat as them. A lot of times, like married people, they want to cheat with another married person. You know why? Because another married person isn't going to pose a threat to their relationship. That's usually with married people. But with narcissists too, they'll cheat with another person who's in the same boat as them, with someone who's maybe not available to be in a relationship. So it could go on for a long time. You might be like, well, are they cheating? Well, wouldn't they have stopped cheating by now? Like, it's been a while. Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. A lot of times, like I said, narcissists will cheat with people who are unavailable to be in a relationship. Or sometimes their availability is just they're not available at that moment. So they'll just, keep flirting. It doesn't have to be a full-on cheat with intimacy and sex. It might just be they're interested in them. It might just be some kind of weird thing that they do. It might not be a full-on, relationship or affair or a fling, whatever you want to call it. There's lots of things that people do that don't really have names. You know what I mean? So, it just depends. But yeah, you have to watch out for stuff like this. The narcissist will always deny it. Always. If you say, right up, like, I think something's weird, they're going to turn it around and flip it around on you and call you insecure, crazy, nuts. Uh, they're going to call you all kinds of derogatory names. They're going to flip it around on you. They're not going to take accountability for anything that they do. They're not going to, like with my ex narcissist, we started having issues at that time when he started hanging out with other people that weren't his normal friends. He knew the way I felt. If he wanted to prove it to me, he could just be like, well, look, I'll show you. I'll show you. I never met them. I never was around those people. I was definitely separated from those people that he hung out with. Not his normal friends. Like he had normal friends who'd come over, his normal family members, his normal friends that we knew from the very beginning who were normal, really great people. Then he started hanging out with people from his job that were, I believe were just shady people. And that's when I believe the cheating started. But another thing was I was never around those people. I was never even introduced to those people. I never met them. And I feel like, and they never came over. They never came over. At least when I was there, they never came over. He definitely kept me separated from this one guy. And I said, well, there has to be a reason for this. Look for this. Look for these warning signs. You have to look for stuff like this. Like I was naive and young when I was with mine. I was, I didn't know anything about cheating. I never was with anybody who ever cheated on me before, so I didn't really know about this. But when you're not around a certain person, you have to say to yourself, there's a reason why he keeps me, distant and keeps distance between me and this guy. How come we never introduce him? How come he never comes over? Because that other person is probably involved with the cheating as well. He knows about it. A lot of times that's what it is. If my narcissist wanted to prove innocence with me, he could have done it at any time, but he didn't. He never took me there to where he used to hang out with this guy. He never did anything like that because he knew he basically was guilty. And 4.5 years later, when I met up with my narcissist again, cheating had come up and he still was denying it, telling me that he never cheated. He still was going on about, I never cheated on you. Why would I ever cheat on you? And I said, well, look, the signs were there. Like it was obvious something definitely went wrong. Like, how can you deny it? But they will. Narcissists will continue to deny their cheating ways for two reasons. One is because if they tell you the truth and admit to cheating on you, they know that it's over. They're not going to be able to get supply from you in the future ever again. So that's the number one reason. They know that you're cut off. If they tell you the truth that they cheated on you, it's over. The supply is gone. Second of all, they don't want to be known as cheaters. They don't want to be known as being a scummy, skank bag like that. They don't want to be in that light. Narcissists do like to feel and be looked upon as a loyal, trusting, truthful, kind, good man. Narcissists don't want to be, this is part of that ego that they have, that very high ego, that egotistical, that other alter ego that they have. So they don't want to be looked on as some scuzzy cheater. Okay. They want to be looked on as a good person who is loyal and has dignity. That's what they like. They don't want to be looked on as the truth. And that's why they don't tell you also. Even though you know that they're a scuzzy skank bag, they don't want you to think that they are. They try to uphold this standard that they just don't have. My ex did not have that. He didn't have it. So that's another reason why they don't admit to cheating. But they do. And as I said before, cheating is different for everybody. Cheating is anything that you're doing that you can't tell your partner about. That's what cheating is. And that could be anything to anybody, you know. Um, but to me, if I was to say, was my ex narcissist cheating on me? I would say absolutely, without a doubt. To him, it might not be cheating. Talking to other women to him might not be cheating. But he knows what he did, and he knows what he did was wrong. I believe me, they do know what they do is that's why they don't talk about it. So yes, narcissists cheat. Not all of them do, though. Not all of them do. I know narcissists who were married who've never cheated. They're still a narcissist, but the marriage, the partner that they're with, they're not that kind of narcissist. Now there are different types of narcissists, depending on, like I said, every individual is different. Everybody's personality is different. Everybody's needs are different, depending on that narcissist needs and wants. So yeah, that's not to say that the ones who've never cheated don't want to cheat. It's just that they may have never had the chance to cheat or the opportunity to cheat either. Um, when my narcissist was with me the first few years, he was a regular guy who went to work every day, and he didn't put himself in situations to cheat. But maybe if he was doing that in the very beginning, he would have cheated too, right? Like my ex narcissist had this, he had the I don't know what you want to call it, um, disposition to cheat. I think he always had the disposition to cheat. Given if there were women around, he probably would have cheated in the very beginning stages. Him being with me, a cheater doesn't cheat not because, like I said, narcissists don't cheat because the person that they're with is insufficient to them. They cheat because of their own lack. It's because of their own lack. Narcissists are never fulfilled by anybody or anything. No one will ever, ever, ever fulfill a narcissist. Okay? Not ever. They have this unfulfilled feeling. They suffer from this boredom, and it's a constant boredom that they have in their life where they're never truly happy. They're always missing something. They always think the grass is greener over there. This is how they think. It's truly how they think, and then they get with that and they're like, oh my God, this is a nightmare. And then they want to go back and they can't go back, and a lot of times they basically have to, lie in the bed they make type thing, like with mine. So cheating is a big, big popular topic with narcissists. And it's just part of the trait of being a narcissist. Okay, it comes with that feeling of not being fulfilled. They're not fulfilled. The need for attention is so strong with these people. It's a necessity. It's an impairment, really. It's definitely an impairment. They are impaired people. As you get to know them and you're with them long enough, you will see the impairment. Um, so yes, there are differences. Like when you're dating a regular guy and there's cheating, they might even tell you they're cheating because they're empathetic to you. Narcissists don't have empathy. So they're going to feel like they deserve to cheat, almost like cheating to them is not really a big deal. Like what they're doing, they justify it. They justify their cheating ways. They don't even look at it as cheating to them. Like, oh, well, you know what? Like I said, with my narcissist, we were in a pretty, our relationship started off very normal. We were dating, went from dating to a little bit serious, and it got more serious. It got more serious. It was growing at a normal speed, actually, when we first met. And for the first couple years we were together, it was a very normal progression of getting closer, spending more time together, starting to look at the future together. We were really doing that. It started off very normal and very nice, um, which is part of that nostalgia that I talked about in my other video as to that was the kind of like the very beginning, like I was talking about, which was very nice and very normal. But it reached a peak where it was no longer going to go any further than that. You know what I mean? And that's when things started to really decline. And even at the end of our relationship with my narcissist, I wouldn't have even called that a relationship anymore that we were in. It was, I don't even know what you'd want to call it. It was basically like we will come over, we'll eat dinner together, we'll order food out, and the rest of the week I never really heard from him. Very rarely would he even talk to me during the week, during the, when we were working Monday to Friday. Wouldn't even hear from him. I would text him sometimes on a Monday or Tuesday to see how you're doing, and I wouldn't hear back sometimes till Friday or Thursday night when he'd say, "You coming over tomorrow?" That would be really the only time I would hear from him. We would not have any conversations at all during the week. Not that we needed to really talk about anything, important, but still, it's nice to just check in and say, "Hi, how are you today? How's everything going?" We didn't even do that towards the end. And towards the end, I wasn't seeing him on a weekly basis or even weekend basis. I was seeing him sporadically. I would see him maybe every 2 weeks. He was busy with whatever he was doing. He was into his own thing towards the end. And we never even talked about it. It wasn't even like he even acknowledged that our relationship had turned into this, um, I don't even know. It wasn't even a relationship anymore. I wouldn't even call it a relationship. The last year, mm-mm, definitely last year and a half wasn't even a relationship. I mean, he never even bought me Valentine's Day presents or gifts or flowers or anything towards the end. He just didn't acknowledge the relationship or me at all. And things like this, you need to really be aware. And I should have been a lot more assertive and left, like I said, a lot sooner than I did. A lot of that was my own fault, and I gotta blame myself because it was my fault. I should have left, but I didn't know better. I didn't know about narcissism back then. I didn't know about a lot of things back then. So, like I said, it's live and learn. But we're on to 37 minutes right now, and I'm gonna have to stop this.